Welcome to South Florida saltwater fishing. I'm Heath, and it's time to get into the bite. Dolphin in the boat, baby! Look at that foot snapper. Hold on. You having fun? Nice sailfish on a white bucktail jig. And we're almost like that. That's the road right there, man. Alright folks, welcome to 2024. Okay, so on the agenda, like I said, it's the beginning of 2024, January 1st. We're gonna head offshore, do some deep dropping, see if we can show you what it's like to find and catch golden tilefish. Back in July of 2023, NOAA shut down the fishery. Today's the first day we can go and try and get them. So let's see if we can get lucky. All right, so we're rigging up and getting ready to do this. You know what that means. We'll see you out on the water. All right, folks, so while we're heading out to the spot, what I want to do is I want to go over the basic equipment that you're going to need if you even want to consider trying to go after golden tilefish, which are deep water fish. I want to start out by saying golden tilefish are found in between 650 and 800 feet. The first thing you're going to need is some sort of electric reel. Sometimes you'll let out close to 2,000 feet on a single drop, and you don't want to be hand cranking that, especially if you plan on doing this all day. This is a Daiwa Tanacom 1000, spooled with 70-pound braid. It's on a 66-inch bent butt rod from Daiwa. It's a Tanacom rod. It is model number 66HFDO. So that's the reel, a basic electric reel. You're going to need a battery and you're going to need a cable to plug it in. Now you can go a little bit smaller than this, the Daiwa 900, or you can go larger, the 1200, or you can even spend a ton of money and get an LP. The choice is yours. You're going to need an electric reel. So this electric reel is packed with braid, and at the end of my braid I have a 300-pound ball bearing swivel. You're going to need a ball bearing swivel because as your bait is making the descent to the 700-800 foot zone, it's going to spin a lot. So a ball bearing swivel is the way to go to alleviate some of the line twists that you will get. The next thing you'll need is a deep drop rig. It's a 3-hook setup. It's about 3 feet long. The bottom has another 300-pound ball bearing swivel on it. We've got 3 8/0 hooks with about 6 inches of leader on them each. And as you'll see, they are on sleeve swivels, which allow them to spin. This is what your baits are going to do as they are making the descent. They're going to spin a lot. At the top of this rig is a simple loop, which you will hook on to the ball bearing swivel that is at the end of your braid. This is a standard deep drop rig. It is made out of 300-pound test. The next thing you're going to need, since we're deep dropping, is you're going to need lights. My favorite color to use for golden tilefish is blue. These lights are water activated. When you drop them in the water, they start strobing. And the final thing you need is a sash weight. This sash weight is 5 pounds. This is what I use to get down to 800 foot zone, going for rosies, tilefish, whatever. All right, folks, so we headed offshore. I'm gonna go look for golden tilefish. Like I said, it's the first day of golden tilefish opened back up since July when NOAA decided to close it. What we're fishing with is the Daiwa Tanacom 1000, 3-rig setup, 300-pound test for the leader, and the hooks are 8/0s. I got a 5-pound weight. We're gonna fish with 2 blue strobe lights, and we're gonna use whole squid. We're going to send the hook through once, right about where the fins are, and then we are going to send it back through. So essentially when you're dragging in the current, it's going to swim. We've got 3 hooks, so we're going to do that same sort of setup on all 3 hooks. So we're going to reposition the boat real quick, then we'll get the dropping. So I want to explain to you the difference to know when you're in mud versus when you're in rocks. Over here you've got the solid red, that's hard bottom. Over here where you've got some red mixed in with green, that lighter yellowish greenish return on your fish finder is typical of when you are over mud. So you want to be in good mud because that's where the tilefish hide. Tilefish burrow in cone-shaped mud holes. This is right where we're at. We want to be right in that mud and see if we can get them. So you always want to hit reset on your electric reel. That way you're at zeroed out when you do your wind up. And let it rip. We're in about 770 feet of water. See how much line it takes us to get out to the bottom. We're drifting north and actually a little bit east because of the wind coming from the west. So we'll see what happens. All right, 980 feet to get out to the bottom. Hold your line, let it drag across the bottom for about 4 or 5 seconds and let it back down to the bottom. Then as you're dragging your bait, you are letting your squid swim. Oh, there we go. Slight bobbing over the tip, and then we got a fish. Okay folks, so while we're out fishing, I want to explain a little bit about how to find spots that look like they may be a habitat for golden tilefish. First thing is, golden tilefish live in mud. They live in cone-shaped holes that they burrow in. They dig down and then they stay inside of them. They wait for bait to come over or whatever it is that they're going to eat, and they come out and they sneak. And they ambush it and they grab it and they go back into their little burrowing hole. Golden tilefish are a community fish, so if you find one, there's more than likely more in that spot. There's 2 things we're going to need to do to find golden tilefish. The first is we're going to need to find what looks like habitat by using our GPS and the contour lines. And then we're going to need to use our fish finder, and I'll explain to you how to tell really if you're in mud or not. All right, so if you've got contour lines that are really packed tight together, this is not what you're looking for. You want them to almost be further apart and almost making little wavy motions like this. Tightly packed contour lines, you have a sharp descent or an ascent. It's sharper. Further apart contour lines like this, you have less of an ascent and it's more likely to be flat ground that could be mud. Now, best case scenario is if you zoom out on your GPS and you find a zone that's, you know, that 600 to 800, 700 zone where you've got contour lines that almost form big open areas. There's this zone right in here that's completely wide open. Man, I should probably go check that. So if you say over here you're at about, let's say you're here at about 720 and here you're reading 750, and out here you're at 800 and over here you're at 810, that something like that, I would definitely go check out. This is what your ideal scenario is going to look like on your GPS. Now I want to talk a little bit about your fish finder. Your fish finder is going to be a very important tool for recognizing whether or not you're over mud. So what happens is your fish finder displays several colors: reds, yellows, blues, greens. You need to determine what is your hardest return. Typically, default settings on fish finders have red or yellow as the hardest return color. Red or yellow means you're over rock. Red is your hardest return. You get in some yellows, some greens mixed in it. That means there's a softer bottom there. When you find your depth, to identify mud, it will look like a mixture of a couple of different colors. Now it may have some of your red in there, which is your hard return, but it will look almost like a small rainbow. You'll have some reds, some yellows, still maybe a little bit of green in there, which is best case scenario. That's how you identify and go, okay, I'm over mud, I'm not over a solid bottom, which is one solid color. And that's how we're going to use our GPS and our fish finder as tools for identifying the habitat where to find golden tilefish. So we just made a previous drop and we had a nice little nibble.
We wound it up and it was empty, but that's indicative that there was fish there. So we went back, and golden tilefish tend to live in groups. So we're gonna go back there and see if we can, you know, get another bite. See if we can get one latched on. So we're on the bottom. We come tight on our line and start making our squid swim. Maybe this time we'll give it a little bit more of a shot to see if we can get the hook up. Drop number 3, drop number 4, drop number 5, drop number 6 on the bottom. We got one. We got one. Oh yeah. It's gonna take a while to get him up, but we got a fish. You want to take your time, get it up nice and slow. Oh boy, he's digging too. He don't want to come up. Take our time, get him up. Whoa, look at him pull. Oh boy, that's a good fish there. Still got 1,000 feet to go. And he's pulling real hard on it, so we're just gonna take our time. You know, we don't want to yank the hook. Key to this part of fishing, you're still fishing. If you force the fish up really super fast, you risk a chance of yanking the hook out of his mouth because you've only got braid. You don't have a shock cord when you're deep dropping. So you can see that when the rod pulls like that, that's how we know we still got our fish on. And that's good news. It's pretty awesome because that was literally going to be my final drop of the day. So what we'll do, now that we know where the fish was, is once we get him in the boat, we'll go back and we'll mark that spot because like I said earlier, tilefish tend to group. They don't all live in the same burrowing holes, but they live in kind of little communities. Whoa, there he goes. He's digging, still digging. Look at him pull. Oh, yeah. He don't want to come up. Not at all. There we go. Let him pull. Let him pull. Don't increase your speed. Don't do nothing. I'm excited to see. Here we go. 60 feet left. Oh, we got a big old fish on down there. God, look at this tilefish. Wow. All right, here it goes. He's going in the cooler. Man, 35, 40 pound tilefish right there. Golden tilefish. Wow, what a way to start golden tilefish season back up.
So while you're fishing, there's a couple of different ways to go about fishing for tilefish. The first thing you can do is you can let free on your free spool and just let your line out as it hits the bottom. You can pause it with your hand Give it about a 4 count. Let your line come tight. You want to pick it up off the ground by holding it tight. You'll feel a lot of tension on your line. Give it a 4 or 5 count and then let it loose to hit the ground again. Once it hits the ground, pause it again, let it come tight, pick it up off the ground, move it again for a 4 count. When you feel the bite, you'll see it. A big bite does not come like a little nibble on the end of your line. A big bite comes as a couple of big tugs. Once you get that big tug, time to lock it up and power your reel up very slowly. Get that fish up off the ground. The other way that some folks like to do it is they don't even like to use the free spool mechanism on their reel. They do it all with the star drag. So what you can do is you just let your star drag all the way loose. That will let your line out all the way to the bottom. And then once you hit bottom, you just tighten it up, come tight on it, let it pick it up on itself, and then you loosen it, let it come back, hit the ground again, give it a, tighten it up, give it a 4 count, and repeat the process. It's the same thing as palming your spool and holding it. It really all depends upon what you like. So that's just a little bit about the technique. You're gonna need to practice it. It's gonna take time. You're not gonna get a fish on every drop. It's gonna take a while. All right, folks, that about does it for this episode. Hope you enjoyed, hope you had fun, and I hope you learned a little bit about how to catch golden tilefish. Till next time, South Florida saltwater fishing. Going wherever the cool wind takes us.